You know the giant data center Utah just approved over everyone's objections, the one backed by the Shark Tank guy? Well, one of the guys who approved it just got $135,000 from development companies, all in one day, just 7 days after that approval. Now, I'm not saying those two things are connected, I'm just saying those two things happened. My name is Brian Schott. I run Utah Political Watch, and this is the kind of story that makes you understand exactly how power works in this state. Stuart Adams is one of the most powerful legislators in Utah. He's the Senate president, he's been in office for decades, and he chairs a state agency called MIDA, the Military Installation Development Authority. Now, MIDA controls hundreds of millions of dollars in development money, and Stuart Adams runs it. On April 24th, Adams chaired a MIDA vote that approved one of the most controversial projects in the agency's history. It's that 40,000-acre data center and natural gas power plant in northern Utah. And that approval came over significant public opposition. And then 7 days later, 5 companies involved with projects approved by MIDA wrote checks to Adams' Political Action Committee. One day, 5 checks, $135,000. Those are the 5 largest donations his PAC has ever received in 6 years, 1 week after he voted to approve this data center. And here's the part that makes this even more interesting. Adams is currently fighting for his political life. He's running for his 5th term in the Senate, and for the first time ever, he's been forced into a primary election. He has 2 Republican challengers. So in January, when it became clear that he was going to face a primary, his PAC transferred $45,000 directly to his own campaign. That's the biggest single donation his PAC has ever made to any candidate. And now that PAC just got $135,000 from MIDA-connected developers. Let me make this simple for you. Adams chairs MIDA. MIDA approves projects worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The developers who benefit from those approvals just wrote his PAC its 5 biggest checks ever. That PAC has already funded his campaign once, and nothing is stopping him from doing it again. And if he does, MIDA donors will have funded his re-election. The chair of the agency that approved their projects will have kept his seat using their money. I reached out to Stuart Adams for comment, but he hasn't responded. Now, is this illegal? No. Utah's campaign finance laws, and I want to be precise here, are some of the loosest in the country. This kind of arrangement is completely legal in Utah, but legal and ethical are not the same thing. And Utah voters deserve an answer to a pretty simple question. Are the developers whose projects you approve funding your political career? You can read the full story on my website, UtahPolitics.news.